Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. Again, thank you so much for watching us every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. And AP Steadham gets to ride home with you as well. AP Steadham is our go-to sports guy, and he also hosts his own talk show, and so it's good to have you.
Hey, good afternoon, Donna. How are you? So glad to be here.
Doing fantastic. Now that it's summertime and we're feeling heat outside, I'm good.
Yes, the heat. I like the heat myself. Get to go to the pool, get to go to the Gulf, get our feet in the water, walk around on the sand, and enjoy the weather.
I'm into that. I'm into it. So what's going on in the sports world? You had an interesting week last week.
Yeah, Donna, we were down in Destin, Florida for the 2023 SEC spring meetings. The main topic was the schedule moving forward with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma for the 2024 season. So they came up with the limited schedule of 8 games for that season, and they're going to try to figure out moving beyond that next year for next year's meeting. So 2024, they're going to announce the schedule, Donna, on television, SEC Network, June 14th. So people can tune in and check out the schedule for 2024, be 8 games for each team in the league. That will leave 4 non-conference games for everybody to arrange. So it should be a lot of fun to find out what happens on June 14th. And that was the big topic of discussion for the SEC.
Mm-hmm. SEC is still going strong.
Yeah, everybody's watching them, and some people are criticizing them for coming up with that 8-game schedule for the year 2024, but I don't think there's a rush. I mean, they're the top league in the country. They can take their time and make a decision. I think eventually, Donna, I do believe it'll be 9 games. I think the format would probably be 3 permanent opponents, and then 6 rotating opponents. So you'll get to play all the games. I mean, people are saying that some of the players are going anyway because they're going to the NFL after 3 years, so they won't get to visit all the schools. But there's not that many that leave early on all the teams. So your full roster will have a chance to make a visit home and away to all the schools in the conference. So when they go to that 9-game schedule, it'll be a short amount of time than if you had 8 games in 1 year. So, but I think it was a good decision. There's no need to rush it.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, if you have questions for AP, you can send an email to Donna at donnasedge.com. Donna at donnasedge.com. So you did have a few, and one is actually from Andy, and it's pertaining to what you were just talking about. So he just has a question for you about the game length. You know, some of the games kind of go a little lengthy. Do you think having that many will shorten the length of the regular football games?
Well, they came up with some rules that they're just going to stop the clock. It's the last, I think, 2 minutes on the first down, the last 2 minutes of the half in the fourth quarter. I believe that's the rule. So you're going to miss, I think, from anywhere from 3 to 7 plays probably. So the game will be shorter because of that particular rule. That's one thing they did implement. And then also, Don, they're going to get rid of the divisional play, SEC West, SEC East. They're just going to have one big division with all the teams, 16 teams. So how they determine the first and second team, that's yet to be arrived at by the powers to be. But I imagine it's going to involve the college football playoff rankings, which we know happens about halfway through the season. They start having those discussions and rankings. I think it's in October sometime. So you're not going to have the SEC East or the SEC West in 2024.
Mm-hmm. Right. Another question comes from Kirk, and Kirk's question is about referees. He says he doesn't understand, and maybe you can help him understand why when referees see something that happens, but then the video shows it didn't happen the way the referee saw it. Why is it that the referee always gets the preferential treatment?
Well, as I understand it, if you're having something under review, by definition, you could change it because you're watching the video. Now, if they watch the video and they come to the agreement that the original call is correct, then they're going to stand pat. They're not going to make the change. But plays that can be reviewed, that's why you can change them. If you're watching the video and you see that something else happened, you can make the change. But that's refereeing in the SEC and college football. You can watch the video, you can make the change, but you can also hold pat and agree with your original call. And just one other thing about that, Donna. Referees, they're graded. So it's in their interest to get the right call, because if they don't, they're not going to be part of the SEC. They may be suspended for certain things if it's a blatant call that they didn't make and it was reviewed. And so it's in the referee's interest to make the right call.
It should be, but there was a couple of times last year, and you and I discussed these, where it was plain. You could see in the video that, I don't even remember which incident it was, but you could see literally in the video that it shouldn't have been called, or it was a touchdown or something. I don't remember what it was, but anyway, I mean, it was literally in the video, but they still held on to what they thought happened.
Right. And that happens sometime. And then sometime when we're watching the ball game, we're seeing the TV replay, and it's not the video. It's not a reviewable play. So we're thinking in our mind that's a reviewable play, but it's not. They're showing us on the TV, but they can't make the change because it's not a call that can be changed. So, but they do make some mistakes. There's no question. But they have that video, and it's supposed to be a tool that they can use to correct something that was a wrong call.
We had a lot of questions this past week after the last show you were on about. Most of those were pertaining to Tennessee. Tennessee got the most. Tennessee, Alabama, and then there was Georgia, and then there was Auburn. So I guess we need to put a lot of emphasis on those 4 teams today.
Right. Tennessee, we had a chance to speak to Josh Heupel, the head coach of Tennessee, and he's really excited and thrilled about his quarterback, Joe Milton. He's been there. This would be the 3rd year he transferred from Michigan. He had an excellent ball game in the bowl game against Clemson. So Joe his reputation as a strong arm. Well, that's great. But Donna, they don't call too many plays where you're throwing it 60 yards down the field. It's between the 20-yard distance and 40 yards. You have to have the accuracy and make the correct decision. So I think you're going to see a much improved Joe Milton lead the Tennessee Volunteers this season. They're a big threat to challenge Georgia. That game will be played in Knoxville in November. So, Tennessee has to travel to Tuscaloosa in October to play Alabama as well. We're going to find out about the Tennessee Volunteers in the first 5 or 6 games when they have to travel to Alabama and some other teams. But I'm sure they're looking, if they can get by Alabama, that game in Georgia, that's going to be one of the biggest games in not only the Southeastern Conference, but across the entire country. Then you have Georgia down there. They have a quarterback battle, but I think it's Carson Beck will be the starter. Brock Vandegrift as well is challenging. But Georgia has all the talent. Defensively, they can make some plays. We all know that defense down at is having a difficult time throughout the country in college football because they can't stop these high-powered offenses with these fast wide receivers and quarterbacks that are so terrific. But Georgia is the team to challenge in the SEC East. They still have the best players overall on their roster, and Kirby Smart, he has managed to understand the R&D, the recruiting and the development as well. And then Alabama was another team they mentioned. So Alabama, to me, a lot of question marks because of the quarterback situation. They had the transfer from Notre Dame. They have a couple of returning players, Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson. Ty Butner is a transfer from Notre Dame. But I want to see if Alabama's receivers can be productive. And I mean to score 50 yards, 60 or 70-yard touchdowns. I want to see if they can catch the ball consistently. Alabama has a group of running backs that are good. I don't know if they have any All-American players or all-conference. They have a host of running backs that can be productive and catch the football out of the backfield. So we shall see about Alabama. And, defensively, they lost the best defensive player in America, Will Anderson Jr. And on the offense, they lost Bryce Young, former Heisman Trophy winner. The kicking game should be solid. But I think Alabama, they're going to be challenged at home against Texas, the second game, Tennessee in October, and then LSU in November. Was there another team down? Did I miss another team?
Yeah, Auburn.
Auburn, yes. Yeah, Auburn right now I consider a spoiler team. They brought in the quarterback from Michigan State, Peyton Thorne. So he had a good year 2 years ago, 27 touchdowns. I think it was an 11-2 season. And then last year they were 5-7. It had 16 touchdowns. But I think he'll thrive and return to form probably with Hugh Freeze because he's very good with managing and coaching quarterbacks. So, and they brought in some better receivers. They have a lot of transfers on the offensive line. So I think offensively, Auburn will be better. And then because they're better offensively, that will help the defense because you're trying to keep those offenses that can score so many points on the sidelines where your offense operates, and keeping them from scoring more points. So I think overall Auburn is a spoiler team. They're probably going to upset somebody this season with Hugh Freeze as a coach.
And then we have this question also. This is from Paige. And Paige says, if you don't mind, who would you consider the worst team out there right now? That's kind of a
worst team right now.
Yeah, who would be the worst?
Well, I would say that Vanderbilt is a team that they struggle offensively normally. Clark Lee's a good defensive coach, and but they've been getting better under his leadership. But Vanderbilt, I wouldn't sleep on them if I was playing them because they play hard and their quarterback getting better. So, but they do struggle offensively to score points in this era of college football where points are people are scoring a high number of points with their offenses. So with Vanderbilt, and that's in the East, and in the West, we know that Texas A&M last year down it didn't matter the opponent. It seemed like they scored 20 points. They were upset. I think Appalachian State came in there and beat them, right? Appalachian State, Texas A&M. So A&M has got to get better. They brought in Bobby Petrino, who was the former Arkansas coach, Louisville coach with the Atlanta Falcons. He has a good offensive mind. Now, if Jimbo Fisher is going to let him operate, we shall see. But Texas A&M, they had trouble scoring points.
Absolutely. You know what? We've got to go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a My Pillow or not, you need to get the brand new My Pillow 2.0. Call or go to mypillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
We are back.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, Channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast, newsnetwork.net. I have AP Steadham with us right now. He is your go-to sports guy. Okay, you talk to him about everything. AP is also host of another talk show called AP and Kelly As We See It. What's going on with that show?
Yeah, Don, I'm glad you brought that up. We're here every Friday, Football Friday, 4 p.m. IC Radio. You can tune in and listen to our show. And last week, Donna, our guest, we were down in Destin, Florida at the 2023 SEC Spring Meetings. We had Bruce Pearl, the head basketball coach of Auburn University. And then we had Candace Story, And she was the first African-American woman to lead an SEC program. She's director of athletics at Vanderbilt. You know, Donna, she's about 6'3". She played basketball at Vanderbilt, was the captain, 4-year letter winner. So both of those guys, very entertaining. People can go back and listen on the archive on the Facebook page of the show, AP and Kelly As We See It. And we love being on IC Radio every Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time. They can listen to the broadcast. And we'll continue to talk about football this week. We're going to have Matt Baker, Tampa Bay Times. He'll discuss Florida and the SEC. And then we have a gentleman who's going to discuss Mississippi State. We'll talk about the Bulldogs. So those will be our two guests. And then we have a special guest for the co-host, AJ Spur. AJ covers Alabama for USA Today. He has that website. So we look forward to talking more SEC football as the season approaches in September.
We're excited about that too. By the way, wanted to mention, if you have any questions for AP, you can send those to Donna at donnasedge.com. And by the way, you'll see the email address down there also right there where the ads are, right under it. You'll find those as well. AP, I wanted to talk to you. Oh, I wanted to mention this to you. I don't know if I've ever mentioned Phil's mother was almost 6 foot tall. She played basketball back in the day.
Oh, I love it. I love it
Yeah.
that she played basketball. I love that sport.
6'2".
Wow, that's awesome. That must have been so much fun to be playing basketball at that time.
Yeah, it was this is like in the 1940s, and she was really darn good at it.
Right. They probably played the three. They used to play the women's basketball. I'm not sure about Phil's mother, but 3 players on one side, and they would play offense and defense, and then they have 3 players on the other side, offense and defense. So they didn't run the full court. They didn't think women could make it up and down the court. How, Donna, how strange is that?
Well, I'll tell you what, if she were around in today's time playing basketball, she'd be one of them you'd be talking about a lot because the personality and the whole work. So I think
Probably
that was
so,
great. Let's talk a little bit about the Wishbone Boys. One of I think my all-time favorite interviews were with them. They were so fun.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun playing football during that era. But Donna, we're going to have the Wishbone Boys golf tournament at Bentbrook in Bessemer. That is the first Thursday in November. So you can go to the Wishbone Boys website. You can see how to join, and everybody can participate. And you'll meet a lot of the Wishbone Boys at that golf tournament on Thursday. I think that's November 2nd, Donna, that first Thursday in November. But you can go to the website and sign up to play with the Wishbone Boys. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, that'd be a lot. I'd like to have my camera down there and maybe interview some of the guys.
Yeah, it'd be fun right there in Bessemer at Bentbrook golf course. So sign up at the Wishbone Boys website.
I was so impressed with all the interviews. And there was a common theme when they were talking about Coach Paul Bear Bryant. And, of course, they really respected him. And, respect has to be earned. And that coach earned that respect. But they also spoke very much of Mrs. Bryant and how she was almost the mother figure to a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. She would console some of the players if Coach Bryant was giving them a tough time. So, yeah, the coach's wife is very important to a football program. I mean, any major college, the coach's wife for all the sports, you have to be on board because the players are looking to you. Maybe they can't discuss it with the coach, and maybe discuss it with his wife.
That's almost like when you're a kid growing up talking to your mother instead of your dad first.
Yes,
So
that happened.
They had that role. Let's talk for a few minutes about Notre Dame.
Okay.
And I can't find the text. Somebody had sent me a message, or the email. Somebody had sent me a message about Notre Dame.
Right.
How are they in the standings right now?
Right. Donna, Notre Dame, it was interesting because Sam Hartman is a quarterback from Wake Forest. He's got big numbers. He's been there, I think, 3 or 4 years. But anyway, he transferred to Notre Dame. He'll be the quarterback. So I'm thinking that if he plays well, he's going to have a chance to visit New York as a Heisman candidate because they're on national TV all the time. And he's a very prolific passer. And that's why the quarterback from Notre Dame has transferred to Alabama, Ty Buckner. So they should have an excellent quarterback. Marcus Freeman, this will be his, I think it's second year. This will be his second year as the head coach of Notre Dame. He was the defensive coordinator. He played football at Ohio State. So Notre Dame, I'm thinking that Notre Dame has a chance to be in the top 10 this year because they have a quarterback that can make a difference. He's as good as anybody's. And when you're going into those close ball games now, the last 2-3 minutes, if you have a pocket passer, and he's a pocket passer, Hartman, and they're going to have a chance to win some ball games. So Notre Dame, yeah, they have a good team.
Mm-hmm. Clemson was also mentioned this week. What are your thoughts about Clemson?
Yeah, Clemson, new quarterback. You know, he played some last year, but the quarterback from California ended up transferring to Oregon State. So Clemson, they're trying to rebound, and they lost that bowl game to Tennessee by double digits, I think it was. So Clemson will challenge for the ACC title. I think Florida State is the team to watch in that league, along with Clemson, because they have a good quarterback as well. So I think it probably come down maybe to that game, Clemson and Florida State, and see who wins that. Probably win the ACC. That's what I'm thinking. But North Carolina has an outstanding quarterback too, Heisman Trophy candidate Drake May. But I think that Florida State and Clemson are the teams to beat in the ACC.
Mm-hmm. Christy had a question about the kicker. Okay, she said, do you know of any female kickers that are out there for any of the college games?
Yeah, I don't know about this year. I don't know. I couldn't say yes or no with any certainty. I'm really not familiar with any female kickers at this point, but they may emerge.
You never know. And you and I have discussed this, I don't know how many times, about sometimes the kicker saves the game. So that's an important position right there.
Oh, my goodness. Important with a capital I. You better believe it. Have a good kicker.
Yeah. I mean, that's vital. So if you had to choose, I know a lot of variables, a lot of things can happen between now and by the time the football season begins, but is there a Cinderella team, somebody you're looking right now that's getting low accolades, but you think could actually emerge and just be a powerhouse? Right.
I'm trying to think of a team all across the country actually that might stand out. I don't particularly have a team right now, Donna. I think I have to see a game or two, but I mean, it's the usual suspects, as we always know. In the Big Ten, you have the Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Iowa, Wisconsin. ACC, like I say, Florida State, Clemson. The Big 12, it's Texas, Oklahoma, Baylor, TCU. You have a team like last year, Tulane. How about Tulane? They ended up playing in the Cotton Bowl and being USC with the Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams. In the Pac-12, you have USC, UCLA, Oregon, SEC. It's always Georgia. We know that LSU won the division last year with first-year coach Brian Kelly, Alabama. You know, could somebody else in the West who's never been to the title game, you know, could an Ole Miss team, could they come alive and win that division? They've never been in the title game. You know, Arkansas has played in it, Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi State. I'm trying to think of Texas A&M has played in that championship game. I don't think they have. So, but I don't have a team I would consider a Cinderella team right now. I really don't.
Got to see a little more action before we could say that.
Yeah, I think so.
Have to go. Thank you so much for being on the show today. It's always fun.
Okay, thank you, Donna. My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for watching The Edge on IAC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundant Television Syndicated. You can find us there on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. Thanks, AP. See you later.
Bye, Donna. Thank you, Donna.